little doll. And how is my big doll?
Great.
How has Chinky been today?
Just fine. Do you know Chinky is 4 months old today? Mama had come over. Look what she got for Chinky.
Hey, that's nice. Chinky must have loved it.
She hardly noticed it, you know. I've been playing different sounds for her, but she's too busy smiling at the clock.
Well, the watch says it's time to eat.
Dinner's ready. Why don't you go and start? I'll just tuck her in and join you.
Okay. Rekha, what happened?
The vase broke.
Thank God Chinky did not get up.
Yeah.
What's the matter? Aren't you glad?
Actually, Vicky, the noise was very loud. You could hear it in the next room, but Chinky didn't even open her eyes. Do you think there could be anything wrong?
I don't think so. But we'll go and see her pediatrician first thing tomorrow morning, if it makes you happy. Rekha, I have collected the reports.
Is everything okay?
Well, you know, the doctor thinks that we should run some tests on you.
Me? Vikram, is everything okay?
You know, the doctor feels that Chinky might be having a hearing problem. But don't worry, I'm just coming to pick you up. Let's do the test first, and then we'll take it up from there, okay?
I'm sorry, Rekha. Chinky is deaf. We've examined her case carefully, and by diagnostic tests, we've traced the cause to the rubella virus, which must have infected you during the early months of pregnancy. Oh my God! My poor Chinky. Doctor, can she be cured? I'm afraid not, Rekha.
But we have always been so careful. How could she have got this rubella?
Obviously from a person already infected with rubella, who must have been coughing or sneezing in her presence. The infection is very mild. A slight fever, a tired feeling, and maybe the appearance of a mild rash. But I don't even know what rubella is, doctor. And if the infection is so mild, how can it create such problems?
In non-pregnant women, it is harmless. But for women in their first 3 months of pregnancy, it is very harmful. The rubella virus can cross the placenta and affect the unborn baby.
Rekha, do you remember having a mild fever and a rash during pregnancy? I don't remember. Sounds like something I would have thought of as a passing allergy. I know it's tough. There is so little people know about rubella. Congenital rubella syndrome can cause major complications in the newborn child. Chinky could have been even more seriously affected. Other rubella mothers can have babies who have cataract in one or both eyes, microcephaly, heart diseases, children born deaf, and other complications. What's microcephaly, doctor? Microcephaly is abnormal smallness of the head and is usually associated with mental retardation. The child becomes a lifelong burden on the parents. You'll be surprised how common these cases are. Can you imagine the suffering of the parents?
I know a victim of rubella, a child suffering from cataract.
Such cases have to be operated within 2 months if permanent damage is to be avoided. Can you imagine the torture and expenses for the parents?
If only we knew, we would have been more careful.
If only we knew. If only we knew. It was not easy telling Rekha and Vikram about Chinky being deaf. It is a pity that millions of children the world over continue to suffer from diseases in spite of the fact that some of these could be easily prevented. Unfortunately, Like Rekha and Vikram, most parents are not aware either of the diseases or the vaccines that can prevent them.
Measles, mumps and rubella are three such diseases that can be prevented by one simple MMR vaccine, Tresivac.
Take rubella. I wish I could make you realize how treacherous this disease is. Rubella is a cube-shaped virus which enters the body through the nasal-respiratory tract and spreads to the lymph nodes. After 7 days, it enters the bloodstream and symptoms like fever and rash begin to appear. These symptoms are so mild that they often go unnoticed. In India, 45% of women in the childbearing age run the risk of getting rubella. As I explained to Rekha, the real damage is done when infection occurs during the first 3 months of pregnancy because the virus can cross the placenta and infect the fetus. In several cases, this may result in abortion. Or the baby could be born with a condition called CRS or congenital rubella syndrome.
About 10 to 20% of babies with CRS die during the first year. Those who survive with CRS can have one or more of these complications: cataract, deafness, and congenital heart disease. Others are intrauterine growth retardation, enlargement of the liver and spleen, meningoencephalitis, pneumonitis, microcephaly, retinopathy, mental and motor retardation, microophthalmia, etc.
Because rubella is also known as German measles, it is considered to be a disease of the West. This is incorrect. In fact, rubella was first discovered in India by an English physician in 1841, and it took 100 years to establish the correlation between congenital cataract and rubella infection in the mother.
Similarly, the connection between rubella and other diseases was gradually established.
I hope this will make you realize what a terrible risk rubella is to a pregnant woman and the lifelong damage it does to her baby. Fortunately, your doctor can give you a vaccine to prevent rubella. If only we knew.
A single and highly effective vaccine can ensure protection against rubella.
And who has not heard of measles? Measles is very contagious and is transmitted from person to person by droplets of saliva, nasal discharge, or close contact.
Almost 90% of unimmunized family members get the infection. Of course, the infected child should not be sent to school.
10 days after symptoms like fever, sneezing, nasal discharge, cough, and redness of the eyes appear, there could also be vomiting and diarrhea. A reddish rash appears behind the ears. This spreads quickly to the face and the neck. Within 2 to 3 days, the rash covers the whole body. Since measles affects the immune system, it makes the child more vulnerable to infections due to other organisms, giving rise to repeated diarrhea, which in turn leads to malnutrition, lymph node enlargement, and even tuberculosis. Many parents in India believe that measles infection is good for the child, as it ensures lifelong immunity. What they need to know is that measles is responsible for more child deaths than any other disease-causing organism. The list of possible complications is frightful. Pneumonia is the most common, resulting in death in about 60% of the cases. Besides, there can be brain damage, heart and kidney problems, convulsions, retarded growth, and weakness. A more serious complication like SSPE can also occur several years after the measles infection. In SSPE, or subacute sclerosing panencephalitis, destruction of the brain cells occurs, resulting in progressive mental retardation and finally leading to paralysis. Is it not surprising that so many parents neglect measles vaccination in spite of the terrible price their children may have to pay? If only we knew.
A single and highly effective vaccine can ensure protection against measles.
And now we come to another alarming disease, mumps.
There is a painful swelling of the parotid salivary glands. The child often complains of earache on the affected side even before the swelling of the glands begin. There can be fever, headache, muscular pain, loss of appetite, and also pain and stiffness while opening the mouth. The fever lasts for 1 to 6 days and the swelling for about 10 to 12 days, during which time the child should not be sent to school. The disease is extremely infectious. Like measles, mumps spreads on contact with an infected person, mainly by droplet infection. Also like measles, mumps has serious complications. One that is fairly well known occurs in the males. This is orchitis. There is pain and inflammation in the testicles, and it may lead to sterility. Also, the risk of cancer due to orchitis is alarmingly high. Unfortunately, it is hardly known that in females, mumps can cause pain and inflammation of the breasts and the ovaries, which may lead to infertility.
This is not all. Mumps can also affect the heart and kidneys and can cause cranial nerve paralysis. The connection has also been established between mumps and juvenile diabetes, as the mumps virus destroys the insulin-secreting cells in the pancreas.
If only we knew.
A single and highly effective vaccine can ensure protection against mumps.
As parents, we have to be aware of the many diseases that can affect our children. And as parents, we also know that prevention is better than cure. But to what extent do we practice it? Should we not learn a lesson from Chinky's tragedy? A simple, highly effective and safe vaccine can protect a child against such misfortune, and also the parents against unexpected expenses and suffering.
This vaccine is Tresivac, which gives protection against measles, mumps and rubella. To immunize your child, consult your doctor. As he or she will tell you, all it takes is 1 dose of measles vaccine at 9 months of age and 1 dose of MMR vaccine at 15 to 18 months of age. Also, rubella vaccine should be administered to all adolescent girls and women of childbearing age.
Your child certainly deserves a normal and healthy life. Now you know what steps to take to ensure this. We hope you will share this information with your friends.
Join in the campaign for a healthier India through prevention of diseases for which Serum Institute of India has been actively working, because every child in India has a right to a normal and healthy life.
Serum Institute is the only manufacturer in India of vaccines to prevent the 3 dreaded diseases of measles, mumps and rubella. Over the past 30 years, Serum Institute has manufactured billions of doses of vaccines, thus saving the lives of many millions of children and protecting many more millions from serious diseases. In fact, whenever the word vaccine is mentioned, the first name that comes to the doctor's mind is Serum Institute. Whether it is tetanus, diphtheria or whooping cough, measles, mumps or rubella, or even rabies or snakebite, the one trusted name is Serum Institute of India Limited. All these vaccines are manufactured in spotless world-class laboratories of Serum Institute in Pune. The latest good manufacturing practices are followed with stringent quality control at every stage. Serum Institute also employs modern technologies and sophisticated automated equipment. For example, it was the first to install automatic computerized visual inspection machines for vials and ampules, which is still considered very new in the West. Serum Institute holds the record in India as the largest manufacturer of diphtheria, tetanus and pertussis group of vaccines, and is also the largest supplier of vaccines to the Government of India for the Universal Program of Immunization. Besides, Serum Institute was the first in the world to use the IBM cell separator for instant plasmapheresis of equine serum. Again, the largest DTP blending vessel in the world is in use at the Serum Institute's plant in Pune. No wonder that Serum Institute's vaccines meet the most stringent international standards, generating global demand. Today, Serum Institute exports its products to about 125 countries directly and also through accredited international agencies. And with Dr. Cyrus S. Poonawalla, the dynamic chairman of Serum Institute of India Limited, constantly exhorting his team of dedicated scientists to greater endeavors, Serum Institute is poised to take on greater challenges and record even greater achievements.
We should now take this opportunity to become the world leader in these two categories of vaccines. It would be a proud moment for a developing country like India to endeavor and achieve and protect 50% of the world's infant population in the near future. Gentlemen, I think this is where Serum Institute of India should put its might together and our thrust to achieve this object.
Serum Institute of India Limited, protection from birth onwards.